Welcome to Peoria High School's broadcast of the Veterans Day Assembly on today, the 10th of November, 2023. The assembly will be starting shortly.
Good morning. My name is Cooper. Good morning. My name is Cooper Ritter, and this is Sydney Ganshaw. We thank you for attending T Area School District's Veterans Day program. Today's program will be opened by a T Area High School English teacher and an Army brat, which is the child of an Army officer or enlisted person, Miss Sarah Springman. Miss Springman's dad, Jeffrey Springman, served as an active duty colonel in the Army. He served during Operation Iraqi Freedom as the battalion commander of the 29th Field Artillery from 2003 to 2004 and as a head military strategist under General Odierno, where he planned and presented Operation New Dawn. He retired in 2014 with the Distinguished Service Medal and a Bronze Star. Miss Springman's mother, Suzanne Springman, was a lieutenant colonel in the Army. Welcome, Miss Springman, and thank you for your family's service and sacrifice to our country. Please give Miss Springman a round of applause.
Students, faculty, and community, and welcome to T Area's School's Veterans Day program. In the United States of America, Veterans Day annually falls on November 11th. This day is the anniversary of the signing of the armistice, which ended the World War I hostilities between the Allied nations and Germany in 1918. The armistice ending World War I went into effect at the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month of 1918. The day was commemorated as Armistice Day until 1954, when after World War II and the Korean War, Congress passed a law officially renaming the day as Veterans Day to honor all American veterans. Veterans are thanked and honored for their services to the United States on Veterans Day. We ask that you give the utmost respect to today's speakers, performers, and presenters as we honor those who have served to protect our freedoms. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Springman. Will everyone please rise, remove your cap or hat, and pay honor to America for the presentation of the colors by the T American Legion Post 266.
Today we have gathered together to celebrate Veterans Day and to offer our thanks and support to the men and women who have given service to our country. It is a day to honor those Americans, both past and present, that have bravely served in the armed forces. We'd like to take a moment to recognize the veterans in attendance, as well as TRA School District employees who are currently serving or have served in the United States military. When called, please stand if you are in the gym. Please hold all applause until the end.
All T American Legion Post 266 members. Michelle Bartman, Tom Bickett, Jathel Curry, Don Dorn, Will Hangman, Eric Hansen, Jolene Kaiser, Clay Robinson, Patrick Staples, Jasmine Suman, Regine Tuskin, Rick Williamson. Any veterans or military members who are in the gym and have not been named, please stand. Let's give a round of applause for our veterans. Thank you for your service. More than 1 million American service members have died in the service of our country. More than 19 million former service members are still living today. They are that special group of Americans we call veterans. Today we will honor them and say thank you for serving.
Conducted nationwide, the Veteran of Foreign Wars, or known as the VFW, sponsored youth essay competition gives students an opportunity to write essays expressing their views on an annual patriotic theme. 94,000 students participated last year. Both T Area High School and T Area Middle School took part in the Voices of Democracy, with the essay topic being, what are the greatest attributes of our democracy? And the Patriots' pen with the essay topic being, how are you inspired by America? I'd like to welcome VFW member Rick Williamson, who will announce the place winners.
Thank you. It's a great honor. Voice of Democracy and Patriot Pen is a great program for veterans to see the young students in our country. We know our future is in good hands. Personal privilege, I'd like to thank Mr. Knudsen for his hard effort in getting this program running in T, and it's been nothing less than a success. So this time, I would like to call Ms. Springman up to announce the Voice of Democracy winners.
Okay, fourth place was Brandon Whiff.
All of these students will be receiving a certificate from the Veterans of Foreign Wars and a monetary prize.
Third place, Olivia Hubley. And second place, Kendra Oberly. I will now come read her essay.
When I was asked the question, what are the greatest attributes of our democracy? My first thought was, what is a democracy? A simple Google search led me to the definition of a democracy as a system of government in which the people vote for their leaders who represent them. The United States of America is a democracy. Based on the knowledge I've started to grasp in my government course, our democracy is run by a federal system of government that prioritizes the importance of the Constitution, frequent elections, and divided power. I'm told that the principles of our democracy are the freedoms to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. From a young age, most of us are taught that we live in the home of the free, in the land of the brave. We know it's an honor to represent the red, white, blue flag, which stands tall, flying high in the air. We learn to say the Pledge of Allegiance and sing the national anthem, but do we really understand the weight of the words and the impacts behind them? It wasn't until recently that I really started to see the world through my own eyes. I've started to take into account how lucky I am to enjoy civil liberties and the freedoms of everyday life. The fact that I can wake up, go to school, go to practice, go home, see my family, eat, shower, and go to sleep just to do it all over again the next day is a privilege, not a right. And those are just the small things. I've become very aware of the horrific things going on across the world. My heart breaks for the men, women, and children who are still fighting for the right to be heard. I am extremely grateful for the fact that I don't have to live my everyday life in constant fear of what could happen next, constant fear of whether or not my world could be turned upside down in the blink of an eye, constant fear if my family would be torn apart and if I could ever see my mom, dad, or brother and sisters ever again. Not everyone is granted this luxury of life. Not everyone is safe in their own home. Not everyone has the right to freedom and equal opportunity. So now I found myself wrestling with the question of, why? What makes America different? The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, and the Bill of Rights were the original documents which created the foundation of our country. Each one holds a different story behind the birth of our nation and the impact of its existence. These three documents are a very important part of our democracy because they helped us claim our rights, allowed for words and actions of elected leaders to be held accountable, documented our nation's history, and expressed the ideals that define us as we the people of the United States. However, none of this would have been possible if it weren't for the people who have laid their life on the line to fight for our rights to freedom and support the papers that provided us a country. Every day, men and women in service are sacrificing themselves for the unity of this country, spending time apart from their loved ones, coming face to face with fear, and learning to navigate a whole new life so that we can keep ours. Veterans are one of the greatest attributes to our democracy, if not the greatest of all. Veterans pour their hearts and souls into this nation in order to protect our First Amendment rights and the peace of our country. I cannot imagine the fear that comes with the responsibility of protecting our nation. The fear that coincides with giving up a regular 9-to-5 job, time with friends and family, and a Saturday stroll at the mall, to instead go to work preparing for battle, is unimaginable. This country remains free at the hands of those who have fought and those who have fallen. We wouldn't have a democracy if it weren't for the honorable men and women who stepped up, took an oath, and rose to the challenge of it all. It's not easy to walk away from such a simplistic lifestyle and make the decision to go and fight for your country. It's not easy to say goodbye to your loved ones, unsure of if or when you'll see them again. It's not easy to train and mentally prepare for the action, attack, and assault you could possibly have to endure. Yet, that hasn't stopped some of the bravest and most selfless people of all. In our country, we will always face adversity in many challenging ways. However, because of our veterans, we have a strong democracy that includes the separation of powers within 3 branches of government. We have the right to vote in fair elections, which allows us to have a voice in the law. We have the right to free speech, religion, assembly, and so much more. Each and every day, there are so many freedoms that we get to explore. So, the next time you're out and about running your errands, going to school, going to work, or simply stepping outside for some fresh air, remind yourself of what has allowed you to be where you are. The ground you walk on today as a free American citizen is credited to not only one of the greatest attributes of our democracy, but some of the most admirable heroes of all, our American veterans. Thank you.
What a great essay. No wonder she's first place. At this time, I'd like to recognize the Mrs. Atkins, if you could please come forward. Mrs. Atkins ran the Patriot Pen program in the 8th grade. And as we wait for her to get here, as we're entering Veterans Day, although it's always wonderful as a veteran to hear thank you for your service, I want to tell you what the greatest thank you is you can give a veteran. Live 365 days a year as an American worthy of their sacrifice.
There were a lot of students who wrote for this, and I would like to recognize all of them. You guys did an outstanding job. But the top three, if you would stand up so we can recognize you. In third place, Jesse Godberg. Second place, Kinsley Gass. And then first place, who will be reading her submission, is Kaylee Taylor.
How does America inspire you? That is a question that has a deep-rooted meaning. Hence, I take importance in answering. I have relatives that were in the United States Army, and I take pride in that. It is remarkably meaningful to me to meet people who dedicate their lives to helping our country, and they deserve dignity. In America, I feel safe. I feel as though there are going to be people to protect me if something goes wrong, and our rights defend that. The Bill of Rights, published on October 2nd, 1789, gives us, as Americans, our right to freedom of speech, equality, religious beliefs, and protection by law, without distinction as to race, sex, language, or any other factor. We are born with the right to equality and security by law. Painfully high numbers of Americans don't realize how meaningful this is and how it protects us. In countries where they don't have this, society lives forever unequal because of how ununited they are. They aren't given the rights we are provided at the moment of birth. This is so excruciatingly important to our everyday lives, and I can't imagine what my and your world would be like without it. From the moment of independence, America has been united. For the 247 years since the establishment of the United States in 1776, over 41 million have been involved in the military, and hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of those have died on duty. As of today in America, nearly 1.4 million people are involved in the United States Army. Those million dedicate their lives every day to ensuring our rights, our freedom, and our safety. For those who no longer serve, from 2006 to 2021, nearly 20,000 troops died in the Department of Defense for our lives as Americans and as people. That is what inspires me about America. We have rights, freedoms, and protection that billions don't, and people give their lives every day for our sake, even if most don't recognize it. I have and will always be inspired and thankful for our country, people, military, and laws. I'm allowed to live my life in America without fear for it. Therefore, thank you, America. Thank you, veterans, currently serving troops, current or previous first responders, nurses, doctors, people in law, and anyone else involved in dedicating their lives to helping, caring for, protecting American men, women, and children every day.
Thank you, Kaylee, and congratulations again to our Voices of Democracy and Patriot Pen winners. And thank you to the VFW for sponsoring this program and instilling pride for our veterans in the T area schools. Let's give them another round of applause.
Ms. Ranick and the band will now perform Armed Forces on Parade. This is a medley of all of the service songs. We ask that all veterans and current members of the United States military stand and remain standing. While the service song is being played, students, if you have an immediate family member who has served or is serving in the United States military, please stand as well.
While Veterans Day is usually a typical day to pay tribute to America's living veterans, it is always appropriate to include a moment of respect for those who gave their lives for their country. Please stand and join us in a moment of silence as Taps is played by Braden Cambier. As we stand, let us remember those who are protecting us today both home and abroad, as well as those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty.
Please remain standing as the Team American Legion will now begin the retirement of colors. Please remain standing during the colors while the colors are retired. Thank you for attending the T Area School District's Veterans Day program. Students, please take a seat for the instructions.
Thank you for watching this T Area live stream broadcast of the THS Veterans Day Assembly.